Revolutionary Guards, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise.
Shalom. Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakadash. I'd like to give a double honors to the elders and to the apostles of GMS Great Millstone who do rule well, and the citation to the hope for elect. It's the brother Damawa from the GMS Cleveland branch coming back with another quick video. And, all the people, right, is aware of what is going on. All right, some on higher levels than others, right, and above all of them is the prophets. All right, we've been waiting on this. All right, there's a lot more to be done, but it's headed in the right direction. All right, with this man Pride. All right, Trump is basically telling them folks to give it up, give us everything. All right, put your guns down or face death, man. All right, now there have been stories coming out. All right, that their news has been running a real goddamn magic show. All right, with the trickery and the sorcery. All right, that they're spewing. All right, on the minds of the people over here in America. Okay, because all you see on the news over here is them dropping strikes, right? And you see buildings with no name on them, right, in rubbles. And America basically saying that they're having their way, all right? But there's other stories coming out, all right, that's conflicting, all right, with this man news is broadcasting, all right, and basically information coming out that is different from what we see right here, all right, because this right here is this man arrogance, right, his pomp, his pride, all right, and we know that Esau Edom, all right, his pride and his arrogance is similar to his national animal sign, all right, which is what the eagle, all right. This man flies above, or think that he's better than everybody else, looking down upon everybody, telling them what to do, all right. And we know this by the conversation that he just had. Okay, so let's get this real quick, and then I'm gonna play another clip for you. All right, but this is Salakia. This is Proverbs. Proverbs 16:18. It says, Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. All right, and that's what we seeing here. All right, these Edomites. All right, because of what Trump have pulled, these Edomites, so-called white men, right, day to day is starting to look weary. All right, all that just boasting and make America great again. All that shit has went out the window. All right, on all these different talking platforms, all you hear now is Trump that went too far. All right, they calling this a biblical war. All right, which we know that it is. Okay, but basically Trump don't know what the hell he doing. All right, he's being used by Satan on the left hand side. All right, and it's all and everything this man is doing. All right, it's all eventually going to work for the day of the Lord. all right, which is coming near, all right, which is going to be judgment on all you different nations. Okay, but real quick, Proverbs 21:1, since we right here, it says the king heart, all right, and that word heart goes into lob, all right, which goes into your mind. Okay, but it says the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord, and as rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. Okay, so again, these leaders, your politicians, all right, they they're under, all right, the influence of Satan. Okay, so they're gonna do eventually what the Lord want them to do. All right, and we know that this devil going out with this type of pride and him thinking that nobody is going to be able to check him. All right, it's the mind state that the Lord want this devil in. All right, all right, because it's going to make it all more greater when the Lord crack open them skies. All right, and this man began to understand that there's nowhere in this earth that he can run. All right, but let's get this one real quick. And a lot of people think that we're just reading scriptures trying to make Esau Edom, the so-called white man, fit these scriptures. No, like this nigga and what he does fit the scriptures. All right, we don't have to. We don't have to fit in a tight squeeze. You know, we're not reaching. All right, basically, this is what the Bible said this man would be doing, and and lo and behold, he's doing that. All right, Jeremiah 49:15. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among all men. All right, and there's not a fucking alleyway that you can't turn where nations is not getting on the so-called white man. Okay, this man is being called out on all levels. All right, from his weirdo activity. All right, from what we're seeing with these elites. All right, dealing with these children. All right, from what we can see how this man handled business. All right, the laws that he set up is oppressive. Everything. All right, so now the heathens, okay, in these other nations, all right, is looking at more and more like America going down is what's going to be better for everybody. All right. So now this man is becoming the black sheep, all right, of all the nations. Verse 16, it says, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. All right. And who call themselves Caucasians? All right. I mean, do we have to say anymore? All right. It's the reason why the Lord put a spirit on them to name themselves, all right, by these terms. All right. It says, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill. Right, man, because so-called white man, as Trump was just saying, right, what did he say? He said you can only get freedom, all right, through America, and we're here to help. All right, so this man look at himself as the police of the earth, right? All right, so basically, he's what? He's sitting on the hill by himself. All right, well, that's what he think. All right, it says, though thou shouldest make it thy nest as high as the eagle. Again, there go that bird that this man or this symbol that this man loves to wear. All right, right now, all right, that's what America's symbol is. It's the eagle. It's the bald eagle. Right. It says, "I will bring thee down from thence," said the Lord. Right, man. So him boasting like that is a clear indication that these are the Edomites, and these are the things that they will be doing, and these are the things that they will be saying. All right, boasting as if they're the ones who put themselves in position and made themselves dominant over all these other nations, which is not true. All right, Job 9:24, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So the Lord needed the most basis of men, all right, to get in position of power, all right, to mistreat the earth, all right, because that's what he said was going to happen in prophecy, that is, okay? And this is how we know that it's talking about the white man, because it's always relate Edom, right, Esau, right, it always link Esau up, all right, with future prophecy or end day prophecy, all right, when you reading these Bibles. Okay, so everything I just read, right, is still continuing on here in Jeremiah 49:17. Also, Edom should be a desolation. Everyone that goes by it should be astonished and should hiss at all the plagues thereof. You see? We're still talking about Esau, Edom, and the so-called white man. So we know that this boasting that Donald Trump is doing is exactly what the Lord want him to do and need him to do. All right, to isolate itself, basically. All right, to the point where people of his own nation don't even want to be socialized with this goddamn man. All right, everybody is trying to get away from Esau, Edom, even himself. Okay, give me 1 second.
Who is one of the real sensible voices in all of this. And Colonel, great to see you as always. Welcome back to the show. I just want to get your sense overnight that I'm surprised, like, here's some new footage from Tel Aviv, and I was speaking to sources in Tel Aviv who were showing me videos outside of their freaking window of what they were seeing, but you won't see this on Fox News at all. This is Tel Aviv. Of course, buildings being blown up, direct hits right next to City Hall. But why is Fox News, do you think, not really covering any of this damage in Tel Aviv, Colonel?
Well, look, I just saw a few minutes ago a interview with Keith Kellogg on Fox News, and they were asking him about I think it was a Wall Street Journal report that said that we're going to have to do something pretty quick because we're going to run out of interceptor missiles. We don't have enough to sustain this over this 4 to 5 week period that President Trump talked about. And he says, no, that's not the case. No problem at all. We obviously wouldn't have ordered something like this. Our commander wouldn't have ordered something like this unless he knew we had enough missiles in the stockpile. And in any case, we can get some from our allies if we need to after missiles, and they're going to run out, and they're not even the primary target.
Right.
We're seeing, you just showed a video there of even what we have. It's these missiles that are coming in from Iran are just going through it like a sieve, and now that we may run out completely, and then that's something I think you and I have talked about before. We had a limited number of interceptor missiles because we've given so many to Israel over the last.
So, like the way that they're being taken over, all right, by Iran, which they're not reporting the truth about, right? You would think that Iran started this or had this plan, but no, all right. This came from America doing, all right, Trump doing, and that dude Netanyahu, right? All this was their pride, okay, in them thinking that they can just do whatever they want to do. All right, because things went so well, all right, in Venezuela, all right, because this man has been able to dominate the so-called true Israelites, all right, because we're still slaves over here, all right, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, all right, is still under the so-called white man's thumb, all right, or grip, all right, per se, all right, this man still runs shit, okay, and so we're not going to escape this, all right. And this man is not going to stop being the devil until the Lord send back his son. All right, this is Salakia, wrong one. Let's get Isaiah, right, 14. And we'll get a couple out of here. We're going to close out. I ain't want to make this too long. All right, this is Isaiah 14 and verse 4. It says, Thou should take up a proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. All right. And that golden city is the United States. All right. It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Right, man, because eventually the Lord is going to take all the might that the so-called white man has out of his hand. All right. He's not going to be able to call for anything very soon. Not for an airstrike, right? Not for a seat at the round table, none of that shit. All right, all his power is about to get thrown down, and pursuant to Isaiah, right? His kings and his nobles is going to be laced with chains and fetters of iron. All right, verse 6, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger and persecuted and none hindered. All right. And basically the way that Trump was talking, all right, what's a better example than that? He didn't sound like a nigga who was watching his words, right? He wasn't sound like a man who was calculating, right? Understanding that his word bring power, all right? Or maybe he was a man sound like he does know that, and he was speaking from the seat of that power. That sound more like it, all right? So this man is again living out, all right, the words that we're reading in this book, all right? As the elder nun would say, these prophecies is jumping like popcorn. Well, popping off the pages like popcorn, all right? If you don't understand that Esau, Edom, so-called white man, and Trump is the face of their pride and their ego and how they think and why the Lord hate them, you still don't understand, all right, what you're looking at. You still think this nigga is just Davo who grew up down the street, all right? You don't understand that the spirit that they have in them is special. They are special at being devils, man, all right, at being destroyers, all right, as being the example of what not to be. Okay, Isaiah 14:6 again. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindering. Right, man, because when the Lord come back and start really judging these goddamn devils, all right, ain't nobody gonna be able to stop, all right, what he got coming to him. Ain't nobody gonna be able to save the so-called white man then, all right. He not about to have one of those ending, all right, to his movie. Okay, but let me jump down here real quick, and then we're gonna close it out, right? But as the video said, these niggas is hoping to survive off their missiles intercepting what we just saw, all them flashes, all right, of Iranian missiles, which is not going to work, all right. And if they wanted to get nuclear, Iran got those too, all right, which was tested like a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time, or for the first time using them against the state of Jerusalem. It had passed their Iron Dome easily too. All right, so at the end of the day, they're still going off the mercy or basically the Lord holding back that fire. All right, the Lord holding back the wind. All right, the Lord holding back these nations to really take vengeance on America. It's only been held back, all right, by the angels, okay, because it's not time yet. All right, but these nations are more than capable, okay, of shooting something real over here to America. All right, again, Isaiah 14 and verse 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the lands, nor fill their faces of the world with cities. All right, so there ain't gonna be no more Western Hemisphere with so-called white people. It's the face of motherfucking America. They the face of goddamn me Spain. They're the face of Germany. They're the faces of all these different places, all right, that they're so-called conquering and filling up with their faces now. All right, this nigga face is not going to be no more considered, all right, the face of the suburbs. All right, it's going to be like that movie with Eddie Murphy, Trading Places. All right, very soon. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, says the Lord. All right, so basically, like the Lord is about to have a field day with you so-called men of Esau, Edom, and the so-called white man. All right, and basically, he got you starting it off. All right. All right, by going against the wild man. All right, and it's not going to end well for you. Okay, eventually. All right, so with that, I praise that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadah, Shalom.